Let's dive into this. We're looking at the incredibly versatile phrasal verb pick up. It's literally just two simple words, right? But you smash them together, and suddenly you've got this highly efficient communication tool that native speakers are using constantly, seriously, all day long. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see exactly why mastering this one single phrase is a total game changer for your everyday conversations.
3. That is the magic number for us today. Why 3? Well, because this one simple, everyday verb actually possesses 3 completely distinct conversational superpowers. It's kind of like having a Swiss Army knife right in your vocabulary toolkit. Instead of racking your brain trying to memorize dozens of complicated words for totally different situations, just wrapping your head around these 3 core applications of pickup is going to instantly unlock a massive amount of fluency for you. We're going to systematically unpack exactly what these functions are, how they work, and most importantly, how you can start using them right away.
Section 1. 3 distinct meanings. Mastering the everyday verb. Let's get right to it.
So our source material hands us our first big definition. Pickup, to collect someone or something. Think about how often you're moving people or things from point A to point B. When you go somewhere specifically to grab a person or an object and bring them back with you, technically, you're collecting them, right? But honestly, in everyday natural conversation, nobody really says collect. We say pick up. It's the absolute universally understood go-to phrase for this very specific, incredibly common action of retrieval.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how this works in practice. I pick up my child from school. See how smoothly that flows? Compare that to saying, I retrieve my child or I collect my child. It sounds robotic. Using pickup perfectly and naturally communicates that you're arriving at the school and taking your kid with you. It's just the absolute standard, totally expected way to describe this daily routine.
All right, moving on to our second definition. Pickup, to lift something. Now, unlike collecting someone, which usually involves some logistics or travel, this one is a purely physical action. It's just the mechanical movement of taking an object from a lower surface and elevating it with your hands. That's it. It's a simple action you probably do, hundreds of times a day without even thinking about the vocabulary behind it.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how straightforward the example is from the text. She picked up the book from the floor. You can instantly picture that, right? The book is down on the ground, and she physically uses her hands to bring it up into her possession. Picked up is absolutely the exact right phrase to capture that upward lifting motion. It's simple, it hits the nail on the head, and it leaves absolutely zero confusion about what just went down.
Okay, so we've covered collecting people and we've covered physically lifting objects. Now, let's introduce the third and honestly probably the most nuanced definition from our source. Pickup, learning something naturally. This is a fascinating pivot from those physical actions we just talked about. We are entirely in the realm of the mind now. When you learn something without formal study, no rigid classroom, no heavy textbooks, and you just absorb it from your environment, you're acquiring that knowledge naturally. In conversational English, we call this effortless learning process, picking it up.
And the source material gives us an incredibly relevant example here. He picked up new English words from a video. Let's just pause and think about that for a second. Think about the direct application. This specific usage describes literally exactly what you're doing at this very moment. By engaging with this explainer, you aren't memorizing dry vocabulary lists. You're naturally absorbing context, meaning, and flow. You are, quite literally, picking up new nuances of the language directly from this content right here, right now. It is such a brilliant example because it connects the concept straight to your own active learning experience.
Section 2. Put it into practice. Interactive workshop. Time to put you to work.
Let's actually compare 2 distinct sentence frames from the source text. On the left side, we have, my child usually, and on the right side, right now, my child is. I want you to literally break the fourth wall right now and use these exact frames to practice making your own sentences. Let's think back to our first definition, collecting someone. How would you finish these? Using the first one, you might say, my child usually waits for me to pick them up. Using the second frame, right now, my child is waiting for me to pick them up. I want you to mentally fill in these blanks for yourself. Seriously, do it right now. This kind of active repetition is the secret sauce for moving a phrase from your short-term memory straight into your permanent vocabulary.
As we wrap up this little workshop, let's look at the main takeaway drawn straight from our source. Pick up is a simple, useful verb for everyday life. The absolute crucial point here is that you don't always need complex, fancy words to communicate effectively. Actually, mastering just one simple tool like this versatile phrasal verb is going to do way more to improve your conversational flow. Whether you're collecting someone from a place, physically grabbing an object off the floor, or naturally absorbing a brand new skill, this one simple verb has the whole shebang totally covered.
So, that brings us to a bit of a provocative question for you. What will you pick up today? Now that you really understand the mechanics of collecting, lifting, and natural learning, I'm challenging you to take this new understanding out into the real world. Are you going to pick up a friend later? Maybe pick up a heavy box? Or are you going to pick up some fascinating new knowledge just by listening to the conversations going on around you? Keep this phrase front and center in your mind, put it to use, and just watch your confidence skyrocket. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, keep observing, keep practicing, and definitely keep picking up new skills.